Hawkins School dates all the way back to 1973, and your family's predates that as your dad also worked for the school. What does it mean to be a lifelong Hawken Hawk? What does that mean to you?
Oh man, you're starting off with a hard one here. That's right at the heartstrings. My dad started there in the mid '60s and left for a little while. When he came back in 1973, it happened to be when I was entering kindergarten. So I signed up and joined on. And outside of a few years when I was in North Carolina for college and a little bit of work, I've been at Hawken ever since. So obviously it holds a special place for me. And I met my wife there. She also taught there for a while, now has moved on to another institution. And then all three of my kids are enrolled at Hawken, or one of them actually graduated last year. So obviously it holds a huge place in my heart.
Here in Columbus, we are scarlet and gray, but at Hawkins School, we were red and gray. Do you remember which society you belonged to?
I was a Cyclops and a gray.
As was I.
Yep.
And it's funny that all these years later, we still remember that.
Yeah, of course.
Regardless of how much time has gone by. Now, you played multiple sports as a student. Why and how did baseball become your life passion?
Oh, man. Well, baseball from an early age was kind of, I don't know, it was the easiest thing for me in the neighborhood to kind of play. My older brother, Pete, and myself, and numerous kids in our neighborhood. We would just go. I used to live right across from an elementary school in my real early years, and we would go over there and play on the baseball field all day during the summer. It was during a time when it's kind of reminiscent of the movie Sandlot, where you just had a bunch of kids who showed up at the field and played ball all day.
Those Lomond Elementary School pickup games are near and dear to my heart as well, because I participated in some of those as a child. And, I remember that in your father's car, whatever he was driving at the time, there was always a bag of bats, balls, and mitts. And there was always an opportunity to play.
Yeah, so even at a little bit further along, I mean, my initial memories are before that even. But as you know, my dad coached for many years in the Shaker Boys League, which now would be considered rec ball. But back then it was very good baseball. Not many kids had branched off to go play travel ball. So a lot of good athletes still played for the community leagues. And he was always a coach in that league, either coaching my team or my older brother Pete's team. And it was just made it such a enjoyable experience to be with him as my coach. And like you said, when he wasn't coaching us, we had access to a lot of equipment that
Absolutely.
way. Not many of us had our own equipment back then.
So let's talk about Ohio Tide. Is that a travel league, or is that more like a Sandlot league that's local?
So Ohio Tide is, like I was saying earlier, it's kind of today's summer baseball is a conglomeration of a lot of kids who are rec players, but they play for travel teams. And parents are willing to support their kids in that way, which is great. But I always have felt, even when my own kids were starting to get involved, that travel baseball had really gone down a bad route. And so I was involved with a team called the Golden Spikes with a couple of gentlemen, TJ Donovan and Jay Murphy, who were local baseball guys. And we always had the approach of, yeah, we're travel ball, but we're more in the business of developing kids and letting them have fun. And if we win a few games along the way, and we were successful, then all the better. Very similar approach to what I feel Shaker Boys League was. So at a certain point, Golden Spikes broke apart. I was, as the varsity coach at Hawken, part of a group that convinced Hawken School to become partners with the summer baseball organization, and we rebranded ourselves as Ohio Tide. And so that's where we are today.
At what point do scouts start paying attention to youth baseball players?
Oh, boy. Too early. I think there's that pressure, and it tends to drive me crazy because then you get a lot of parents who think this is about getting my kid recognized by a scout. And as you know, the percentages are so low, but yet they're willing to have 1,000 kids show up at a showcase with the premise that they're going to get scouted and earn a scholarship and all those good things, when that really is only going to happen for 10% of those kids will even get talked to by a scout. But the industry is out there now to put that promise out there for families to chase. And right or wrong, it's become a big deal. And there are scouts now that are having these showcases for kids as young as 12 and 13, and that's a little bit unfortunate because they haven't even developed yet at that point.
Sure. In your time as a baseball coach, has anybody that you have coached gone on to greatness that you can recall?
Well, I guess that would depend on your definition of greatness.
True.
I've had 8 individuals from Hawken who have gone on to play Division I ball, and about, I don't know, probably a dozen others that have gone on to play at some level of collegiate level. None of my guys have made it to the major leagues. I did have one individual, Ryan Brenner, who played for a while in the minors, mostly independent league, but was not able to crack that major league level or even above the single A. And he's a kid, I mean, there's a prime example, is tremendous athlete, 3-sport athlete at Hawkins School, who was, I think, led the NCAA in stolen bases one year when he was at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. And but even with that one outstanding skill, he was not able to even get above the single A level.
Well, we've got to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine after this on the Ohio News Network.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with savings on hundreds of items every time you shop, with new low prices, deals for days, weekly sales, and My Perks at your neighborhood Giant Eagle. Visit gianteagle.com for details.
Through the magic of modern technology, I'm coming to you from inside your garbage disposal.
Hey, what are you doing down here?
I was telling folks about Who are you?
Garbage disposal monster. I eat the things people put in here. Nom 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 nom.
Oh?
Sometimes I get sick.
I was just about to say, the pros who knows from Apex are brilliant at fixing garbage disposals. You're really a monster?
Now, look here. These teeth,
Yeah?
they're all busted.
Oh.
They're for food, not forks. You hear up there?
Gee, what else?
Crazy noises like clingety, 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 clingety. Call Apex Pros.
Sure.
Sometimes I smell funny.
I didn't want to draw attention to it.
Call Apex Pros.
And what's going on now there?
Smoking. It's a bad habit. We're not supposed to smoke.
Well, you heard it straight from the garbage disposal monster.
Rawr.
Call the pros who knows. Apex Pros.
Hi, it's Alex, the Apex Bear. We are the pros who knows, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Nom 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 nom.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN. People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
I'm John O'Hurley, and I support Paralyzed Veterans of America because our heroes have sacrificed so much for our independence.
I had just come home. I had noticed my legs were swelling. Next thing I know, it was 3 weeks later. I was paralyzed. PVA has brought me back to life.
While parachuting with my platoon, my parachute didn't open. It left me paralyzed. I just don't think my family would be as happy as they are without the support that I received from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
For more than 75 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has kept a promise to never leave a fallen hero behind. That's why Paralyzed Veterans of America is providing specialized medical care, life-changing treatments, benefits our heroes earned, the jobs they want, and the accessible vehicles and homes they need. Our paralyzed veterans have helped us live the lives we enjoy today. It's our turn to give them the best lives possible. To learn more, go to pva.org today.
The only show where sports talk is eclipsed by food talk. Oh, nuts. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
And we're back. More with Aaron Brandt, the varsity baseball coach at Hawkins School and a lifelong Clevelander. Aaron, during your time in Cleveland, the city has had a team in every professional sport at one point or another. How hard is it to be a lifelong Cleveland sports fan?
Well, I mean, hard is sitting there and watching the Browns from opening to closing whistle look really bad, and it's frustrating, and we grew up with that, Jay, right? We lived through the 70s and 80s of Indians baseball, and the Browns got good in the 80s when we were in high school, but for the most of our childhood, they weren't very good. Cavs have gone through a lot more downs than ups, but they did bring us our one championship in our lifetime, one major championship, I should say. And it's challenging, but I think it's a good life lesson. I watch these games with my kids. All three of my kids are Cleveland fans and Ohio State fans, and really willing to live and die by it. And yeah, it can be tough at times, but at the same time, I think it's more about kind of enjoying it with your family.
Agreed. Which team would you say for you has been the biggest disappointment?
Oh, disappointment, man. I mean, I guess the Browns, I would have to say, are the biggest disappointment because there's been many times when we thought this is the time. This is when they're going to take that next step.
Especially going into this season.
Yeah, of course, Of course. We were all pumped up this year, and they laid an egg, didn't they?
They sure did.
I can tell you the one that gave me the biggest heartache was the Indians, twice being in my adult life, twice being on the precipice of winning the World Series and losing both of those in 2016 and 1997 when both situations where we thought we had it right in our grasp. And then 95 was probably just as disappointing, even though we didn't really compete well in the World Series that year. We were the best team in the Major League.
Oh, for sure.
And we thought we had it. So they gave me the most heartache individually, but the Browns more over a extended period of time.
So as a coach who thoroughly knows the game of baseball, what do you think the Guardians need to do to get to that next level and win a World Series?
Well, I really love what the Guardians are doing. I think the way that Major League Baseball is structured now with the very uneven salary limitations. They've done a great job of developing pitchers, and every year you get 2 or 3 new pitchers that you weren't sure were going to ever make it, and they make it. So even recently when they traded for the guy from the Diamondbacks, his numbers aren't great. I trust the Guardians because they traded for him, that they must have seen something in him, and they're going to develop him. With that being said, I think they were very successful last year because they started to have more power, and that's something that they need to keep improving on in order to keep up with today's game. Gone are those days that you and I remember where it was 6 or 7 guys in the lineup all hitting over 300, and that's how you won games. Now you got to have 3 or 4 guys who are going to hit 30 bombs.
Yep.
And that's we just don't have that right now.
Yeah, it's all about getting on base right now and having speed and moving the needle. And in terms of power, bringing Carlos Santana back, if he has the kind of year that he had last year, he should contribute both offensively and defensively.
I love Carlos Santana. I think that was a tremendous move. And that's one of the lesser profile moves that a team like the Guardians have to do in order to be successful. I'll point to last year when people were giving the Guardians a hard time for not making any deadline moves. And meanwhile, they had Matthew Boyd and Alex Cobb as their only additions. And I thought those were great additions. Again, they were under the radar guys who were going to help out a pitching staff that had to deal with a lot of adversity last year, especially after Bieber went down in his first week of the season.
Yeah, we like to Monday morning quarterback that situation, that if we had not suffered the injuries in the pitching staff that we did, could we have made it to the series, and would we have been able to beat the Dodgers? And I kind of think we would have. So I got to ask you one last question. Is there anything that can be done to save the Cleveland Browns short of literally starting from scratch and completely rebuilding, in your opinion?
Oh, Jay, I wish I knew that answer.
Because, I mean, we've been to training camp at the same time, and we've seen the same things. So it's like, is it there? Is it not there? What do we do?
It's funny because my 2 sons and I were having this conversation yesterday. My one son in a early Cleveland-like mindset said, we just got to lose these last 3 games to get a higher draft pick.
Well, and guess what? It's likely that that's going to be the case.
But my older son and I were both like, well, you can't just tank. You got to at least try to win. You got to project a winning attitude, and we've seen it with the comments that have come out from Myles Garrett and Joel Bitonio that, hey, we need to have a plan in place here. Otherwise, we want you to trade us. We don't want to stick around if we don't have a plan in place that we feel is going to get us there before we retire. And we can't go and lose those guys. And so at the same time, what I was starting to get to was that discussion led to an idea that, listen, coming into the year, we thought we were pretty darn good. Did we really lose that much talent? Or is it just a matter of 1 or 2 pieces still needing to get fixed and maybe other guys returning back to their previous capabilities? My biggest worry is the offensive line. I think they got old quickly, and if we are smart, for the first time in how many years, we've got a first-round draft pick now. So I think you go out and you draft a couple of real solid linemen in your first 2 or 3 picks and worry about the flashy skill players later, but start rebuilding from that line. And teams get good awful quickly in the NFL if they're solid in the trenches and have a good defense. And we've proven we've got a good defense, so I think it's not that far away, actually.
Well, I want to thank Aaron Brandt, the varsity baseball coach at Hawkins School and a lifelong friend of mine, for joining me on Ohio Sports Magazine. When we come back, we're going to get into what the potential for those Cleveland Browns draft picks might be, and also also talk a little bit about what the Browns are going to do with Deshaun Watson. All that straight ahead on Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline to enroll is January 15th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Getting a live Christmas tree to plant after the holidays? Well, here are some tips. In the house, keep it away from heat sources that could wake it up out of dormancy. You don't want that. Dig your hole now before the ground freezes. Or if you plan to wait till spring, you need to protect roots from extreme cold with mulch or straw. And move it from the warm house to an unheated area like a garage temporarily to make the transition outside more gentle. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture at treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS-TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC-TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. The
Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
CBS News reports that quarterback Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns have reached a contract agreement that will lessen Watson's cap charge in future years while keeping his fully guaranteed $92 million intact. Now, the adjustment, which is technically a one-year extension to the existing contract with no additional money, should help the Browns field a competitive roster for 2025 and beyond. Watson has $46 million due to him over the next 2 years to complete that $230 million contract that he signed back in 2022. We've got some Browns players like Myles Garrett and Joe Bitonio who have questioned the immediate future of the team. Does keeping Deshaun Watson signal to them that Cleveland is not restructuring and not pushing the panic button? Don't know. The deal also provides the Browns with an easier, less financially painful path out of Watson's contract following the 2025 season if the Browns decide they're going to part company with Watson. And we don't know what's going to happen with Watson for 2025 as of this broadcast because he's still recovering from Achilles surgery. Who will start for the Browns next season? It's unclear. The Browns' acquisition of Watson has been considered by many in the league to be the worst trade in league history. If you recall, back in March of 2022, the Browns traded 3 first-round picks to the Texans to acquire Watson again, and he signed a $230 million fully guaranteed 5-year deal. At that time, Watson had a lot of off-the-field problems. He had more than 20 civil lawsuits against him alleging sexual misconduct. 2 Houston grand juries declined to indict Watson. He was never charged with a crime, and he settled the majority of those lawsuits outside of court financially. The Watson contract at the time he signed was the richest contract in NFL history. Now, that's in terms of fully guaranteed money. Now, when Dak Prescott signed a deal with the Cowboys, that included $231 million in fully guaranteed money, and that $1 million makes that the richest contract in NFL history. So Watson was suspended for 11 games to begin that 2022 season. The league fined him $5 million. When he came back, he didn't seem like the quarterback that the Browns wanted when he led the Houston Texans. He looked rusty. 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in 6 games in 2022. 2023 was a different story. Watson went 5-1 as a starter, but had all kinds of injuries and ultimately having to have surgery on his throwing shoulder shut down Deshaun Watson for the remainder of that season. And of course, you know, we went wacko for Flacco and all that. The Browns should start, or I should say rather, they did start 5 different quarterbacks that season and went to the playoffs for just the second time in 20 years. And that veteran Baltimore Ravens old quarterback, Joe Flacco, did he stick around with the Browns? Nope. He was signed by the Indianapolis Colts in the offseason. Watson performed like one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL this season before he tore his Achilles in Week 7 when the Browns lost to Cincinnati. He had a passing rating of 79. He ranked 32nd among qualified quarterbacks, ahead of only Anthony Richardson and Bryce Young. Both were second-year quarterbacks who ended up getting benched during the season. The Browns have gone 3-13 this season with Watson, Jameis Winston, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson as their starting quarterbacks going into the final game of the season against the Ravens, which was before this was taped for broadcast. The Watson's contract is fully guaranteed. The Browns have used some salary cap mechanisms to ease the burden on the cap. The 11-game suspension in 22 cost Watson 11 game checks, but his contract was structured so that those game checks came from his salary of a little over $1 million a year, but he was paid nearly $45 million in a signing bonus. Now, they did that again in 23 and 24. They converted nearly $44 million of his salary each year into a signing bonus to lessen the cap. CBS News has also reported that Watson, head coach Kevin Stefanski, and general manager Andrew Berry are all coming back for 2025. But if the Browns wanted to get out of the Watson contract, it would cost them $119 million in dead money and essentially cripple the team's roster for 2025. Myles Garrett wants to stay in Cleveland. He doesn't want to go anywhere else, but he doesn't want to be part of a rebuilding situation. Left guard Joel Bitonio wants to continue with the Browns as well, but he has said that he's going into years 11 and 12, and he's interested in winning and doesn't want to commit until he knows where the team is going. Watson contract adjustment clears up some of those questions about Cleveland's immediate future, but it doesn't answer who's going to start at quarterback in 2025. Watson underwent surgery on his ruptured Achilles on October 25th. Sources have said it's unlikely that Watson will be able to pass a physical until the summer, and Jameis Winston is set to be a free agent, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, well, we know he's struggled in his spot starts the past 2 seasons. So that leaves the free agent market. It's expected to be weaker than usual. Pittsburgh will likely retain Russell Wilson. Sam Darnold will likely stay in Minnesota. The Browns are likely to have a top 10 pick in April's draft, and they are currently slotted 5th. But that could change. Only Miami's Cam Ward and Colorado's Shedeur Sanders are considered Week 1 starting quarterback options in this year's draft class, and the belief around the league is they'll be taken within the first 3 to 5 picks, and it's likely that the Browns will have one of those picks. Given the poor performance of Thompson Robinson and Jameis Winston, it's possible that the Browns may seek a new franchise quarterback. So here's the question, gang. Will they use Watson as a mentor in that case, preparing the new quarterback to switch roles with Watson and take the reins in 26? That's one possibility. But would Watson be willing to restructure his contract again to be a backup in 26? Or would he insist on being a starter somewhere else? Would the Browns even want to keep him beyond 25? A lot of questions are left to be answered. One question that has not gone unanswered is the fans' disappointment in a team that had high expectations going into this season, which will now be remembered as one of the team's worst since it re-entered the league in 1999. Some season ticket holders have already threatened to pull long-standing seat orders, while other fans remain diehard and continue to utter the familiar lakefront refrain, "We'll get him next year." There's more Ohio Sports Magazine ahead when we come back to the Ohio News Network.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Check out our Fresh Tyson Chicken full line sale. Select varieties or buy one, get one free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's back January 10th through 19th at the Ohio Expo Center. The Ohio RV and Boat Show, brought to you in part by Park National Bank. 3 enormous buildings with dealers that have brought the best selection of RVs, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, golf cars, and more. Wide open aisles, tons to see, fun for all. The Ohio RV and Boat Show at the Ohio Expo Center, January 10th through 19th. From towables to drivers, jet skis to pontoons, and more. It's all here. Join the fun. One-stop competitive shopping. Get tickets online at OhioRVandBoatShow.com.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has added new strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today, and you can be one of the first to try it out. We're raising the bar with new benches, and our new hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all of the best-in-class equipment we've always had, with most clubs open 24 hours, so you can work out your way on your time. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 10th. See Home Club for details.
Menards is the one-stop shop for huge savings on new energy-efficient appliances. Upgrade your home today and save big on top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. We carry the largest in-stock selection of home appliances starting at the lowest prices and ready to take home today. Check out our entire selection of home appliances on Menards.com. Plus, get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag. See store for complete details.
Save big money at Menards.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life. There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Temperatures falling down into the teens under partly cloudy skies. A few flurries remain possible, but the bigger round of winter weather comes as we head into Sunday evening through the Sunday night and into most of the day Monday, where we're expecting accumulating snowfall across the region. Temperatures staying in the 20s. Highest accumulations will be along and south of I-70 with some ice possible in the far southern counties. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination. This This is ONN.
College football playoff held their quarterfinal games earlier this week at 4 sites across the country. The Sugar Bowl quarterfinal was scheduled for New Year's Day, pitting Georgia against Notre Dame. But early Wednesday morning, a terrorist attack struck in the French Quarter of downtown New Orleans, forcing officials there to postpone the game until Thursday afternoon. Paul Feinbaum covers college football at large for ESPN and was in New Orleans this week to cover the Sugar Bowl. He joined Bo Bishop live from New Orleans earlier on ONN affiliate WBNS FM in Columbus. Paul says it took some time for everyone there to realize the gravity behind the situation.
When everyone woke up, and I was up early doing stuff for ESPN, I mean, you saw the reports, but the assumption was that some lunatic on New Year's Eve, doing this. And so while there was terror and horror, it wasn't until a little bit later when it went from a random act of some crazed person on New Year's Eve to something that scared everyone out of their mind. And I think that was the turning point. And about mid-morning, I was doing something for the SEC network, and I ran into an ESPN executive, someone very high up. And that was the first time I started to grasp it. Because at that moment, the person was telling me there may not be a game today, and I'm like, and you just have to. We're in this. I mean, we're so far in it, we can't imagine that a game wouldn't be played. Right. And that was the moment when chaos started to reign, I should say, and for the next couple of hours, nobody knew anything, and that's all you got. What's the update? Is the game on? Is the game off? And then finally, early afternoon, and then there was really some conversation of either moving the game, and then you got commissioners and CFP people involved, because the coaches, even though they were horrified like you were and I was, they're thinking Penn State's now sitting at home in Pennsylvania, ready to go to Miami, and we don't even know when our game is.
Well, that's just it. I mean, and that's the thing you got to do. And we do this. We've been doing this long enough. There is the event and the tragedy around it. And then there's like, okay, what do we do next? And so I saw the comments from the Louisiana Attorney General saying, I'd like another 24 hours before we played the game. Meantime, you got coaches saying, we have got to play. And I saw Marcus and Kirby, and they had incredible grace in dealing with the tragedy and their availabilities they did on ESPN yesterday. But how serious was their consideration? Was there consideration from, as you understand it, to even maybe swap the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl, and so that there was a little bit more time for the winner of the game this afternoon?
As of late last night, I heard that conversation was ongoing at the highest level. The issue, certainly the Cowboys stadium is not a threat for a playoff game, but Miami is. And that's why they could not agree, and I don't think they will, although I can tell you it reached the highest level of the CFP, and the conversations were ongoing, and you can imagine that the coaches, both coaches, were pushing hard for that. But ultimately, I don't think that will change. And then there was another conversation that was pretty heated, and that was when to play the game. Obviously, the company I work for preferred the game to be in prime time. I mean, this was a marquee game of epic proportion, and the coaches were adamant. And I don't know Marcus Freeman that well, but I do know Kirby Smart, and I could almost hear him from my hotel saying, "We're not playing at night." They were considering 1 o'clock, and then they just finally were able to compromise with the 4 o'clock Eastern time start.
Man. What was it like for the two teams as you understand it yesterday?
I think everyone gets up a little bit later on New Year's Day, and I think that was always going to be the plan when you're not playing till almost 9 o'clock at night. But the notification started. Listen, everybody has a phone, and everybody got some sort of notification. Doesn't matter what you subscribe to. And I think there was that early on that the players were told they couldn't leave the hotel. I ran into in my hotel, which is a block away, I ran into the parents of one of the Georgia players, and they had just gone and visited their son. And the father described his son as they were all scared. I mean, they didn't know. Nobody knew. And let me stress, if you have familiarity with the French Quarter, the two-team hotels, were the Marriott and the Sheraton, they're on Canal, literally a half a block away from Bourbon Street. So it is, I mean, and you would think, I mean, if you're a player, even though you can't get in those hotels, you've been to those hotels many times, it's still a scary thought because until really late afternoon, nobody knew anything. And what was really surreal, too, was I did our show yesterday from the field. We originally were going to be at a restaurant. And already the security, I mean, there was nobody in that place. As we went off the air, the teams were about to come in. That's why we had to cut our show short. But the security just to get into an empty stadium took 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm told today you will not be able to take a car anywhere near the Superdome. I mean, they're going to be blocking off many streets. And really what this is all about is we're 6 weeks away from the Super Bowl, actually less than that. And as big as the Sugar Bowl is, the Super Bowl is about 10 times bigger.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
If you have an unhealthy obsession with the Blue Jackets, we have just the remedy. Join us Wednesday nights at 7 for the Inside Edge. All the Jackets and hockey conversation you can handle. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with the sound of freshness. With new low prices on hundreds of your favorite produce items. So you save on all the crunch, all the flavor, all the just pick goodness you love. Surround yourself with savings every time you shop with new low prices on apples, carrots, lettuce, celery, and more. Enjoy fresh savings on fresh produce at your neighborhood Giant Eagle.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. In procrastination, it's the thief of time. Do you really want to head into the new year with the same old joint pain, the stuff that's been bothering you all the way through this last year and probably many prior years? Make the decision now to say no. I'm going to get it fixed, and I'm going to get moving again in 2025 with the help from my friends at QC Kinetics. See, they're the leaders in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. They're located right here in Columbus, Ohio, under the leadership of Dr. Ray Tesner, the founder of Grant Sports Medicine and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon. He's going to help you revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics, things like PRP, so you don't have to have surgery. There's no drugs. There's no downtime. It's the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of people already know about it, so don't wait any longer. Go give them a call at 380-208-4544 for your free consultation. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices in Dublin and Gahanna, so they're conveniently located all through Central Ohio.
Replace your furnace with Logan AC and Heat Services. Get a free Trane furnace with the purchase of an air conditioner and 0% APR financing for 72 months. Get a free indoor air quality product when you schedule your installation by the end of the month. We offer a system for every home and every budget. And with same-day estimates and next-day installation, it's hard to stop a Trane. Schedule your free estimate now and get fast, friendly service from Logan Services.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
This is ONN.
Mike Reese, winner of the Woody Durham Award for College Sports Broadcasting. Mike, knowing what Woody did and knowing the people that have won before you, I know it has to be a big honor.
Oh, it is. It's the biggest for me, and certainly, Paul, it's the biggest stage for me. I did Southern Illinois for 44 years, and so you're not ever thinking about being really on the national stage, or certainly in my position being honored for that. The teams have been on the national stage since I've done them. But for Dave Snell at Bradley, who kind of was my sponsor for this and was the one that nominated it, and for Learfield and for the Durham family, including Wes and University of North Carolina Athletics, to think that I'm worthy of that is it really was a special time.
Mike, before we get into the Southern Illinois days, if you would kind of reflect on your Cleveland, Ohio days, and any recollection, thoughts about Ohio State during that time when you were growing up?
Oh, well, first of all, the first thing I think of is the Indians were god-awful at that time. And then the second thing I think of, I lived in Cleveland, in Parma, from 6 to 16. We'd moved from Cincinnati. I was born in Cincinnati. And I remember washing cars, of all things, Paul. And so the reason I remember that is I would turn the Ohio State football game on Saturdays, and I remember Rex Kern. For some reason, I just remember Rex Kern playing. Now, I can't tell you who did the games. I know it wasn't you, but for some reason, I remember that. I remember, football was king at that time. Padua Franciscan was really good, and I had no real inkling of basketball until I got to Southern Illinois. Basketball was much more important, but in Ohio, basketball in the 70s was not a big deal. It was baseball and that. So I consider Ohio home, even though I've lived in Carbondale, Illinois, longer than I've lived anywhere else.
Mike, over 40 years as a play-by-play announcer for one school at Southern Illinois, but you've seen some success, both football and the other sports there.
Well, the mid-2000s, the mid-aughts, I guess is how you refer to it, was going to be Southern's glory time. The football team went to the playoffs from 03 to 09 every year. And the basketball team went to the NCAAs between 2002 and 2007 every year, and two of them were Sweet 16s. Bruce Weber was the coach in 2002. Kent Williams was the best player. 2007 probably was a little better team. Chris Lowry, who's now a Northwestern assistant, was the head coach at that time. Jamal Tatum was the best player on the 2007 team. I did the 1983 National Championship football team. 1AA, now FCS. That is a little bigger deal than it was. All these things are bigger deals now than they were then, simply because of the media. The first thing I did as a student was 21 years old was the College World Series. And even that was a smaller deal now than it is right now, but it was a hell of an indoctrination for me, and I was scared as all get out.
I bet you were. The one link between Southern Illinois and Jim Haycock to Ohio State. He was the head coach there for a while. What are your thoughts on remembering Jim Haycock being there, Mike?
I remember him at Illinois State, and I'd like to. He coached there from 88 to 95. Illinois State was like Southern then. Everybody thought both should be a lot better than they were. Southern was awful in the 80s. And Illinois State wasn't far behind. And they just didn't put money into football. And I remember Haycock being a victim of that. I remember him being very accessible. I remember being a nice man. When you last 7 years, even then, Paul, that's a hell of a number now, but it was a good number then, too. And he was very well liked. He was very well respected. Todd Berry took over for him, and they put a bunch of resources into it. I think the first year after Haycock left, Berry won with his players. A lot of his players, especially nice man. His brother coached Youngstown State, and And I didn't get to talk to him, but I remember talking to Haycock quite a bit. And, anymore when the head coach returns your call, that's a big plus in that column for him.
Yeah, it certainly is. Mike, congratulations. Thanks for the time and all the best to you.
Paul, I'm honored. I appreciate you asking, and I'll tell Matt Reese at WLW I was on the Ohio State Network, and he wasn't.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline to enroll is January 15th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Getting a live Christmas tree to plant after the holidays? Well, here are some tips. In the house, keep it away from heat sources that could wake it up out of dormancy. You don't want that. Dig your hole now before the ground freezes. Or if you plan to wait till spring, you need to protect roots from extreme cold with mulch or straw. And move it from the warm house to an unheated area like a garage temporarily to make the transition outside more gentle. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture at treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now let's get some highlights from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here's producer Bodie Wells to set the scene.
Thanks, Jay. On the show this week, the guys discussed just how good the Cleveland Cavaliers' regular season record could be this year.
Do we think the Cavs are going to lose 10 or more games the rest of the season?
I mean, it's possible.
I don't
see it. I don't see it.
If you had to bet right now,
I'm betting the Cavs I'll bet the Cavs under 10 losses.
Under 10 losses.
Yeah.
Which would be
like under 10 more. So like the 14.
Under 10 more.
Wait, okay. 10 more. Where was under 10 more? What was the Golden State Warriors?
So it's a great time. So I'm glad you asked that because that's going to lead us right to the topic.
Right?
Yes,
no,
7-3-9 right now. If you look at the Cavs' records, these are the best records in basketball at the moment. The Cavs at 24-9 have the best record in basketball. The Thunder in second, 27-5. Celtics 24. Knicks 24-10. The Grizzlies have 23 wins, 11 losses. So to put this into context, because I think it is very important to give a little context to some of these numbers. The Warriors through 33 games. The Cavs are 24-9. The Warriors were 31-2. So slightly slightly above. They are currently on a 72 win pace. That is the Cavaliers right now, which would be one shy of the Warriors' 73-win regular season record.
To catch the full breakdown, just search for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and enjoy their daily content covering all things Cleveland sports. We'll be back to wrap up this week's Ohio Sports Magazine show here on the Ohio News Network.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with savings with new low prices on hundreds of your favorite produce items like pineapples, avocados, navel oranges, and lettuce at your neighborhood Giant Eagle.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has added new strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today, and you can be one of the first to try it out. We're raising the bar with new benches, and our new hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all of the best-in-class equipment we've always had, with most clubs open 24 hours, so you can work out your way on your time. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 10th. See Home Club for details.
Save big money at Menards, where there's no ceiling to savings. Update your space with new ceiling tiles. Menards carries stylish and durable ceiling tile options. Armstrong ceiling tiles offer a variety of styles that are easy to install. Get the Brighton 2x2 ceiling tile for only $379 each. Plus, get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag. See store for complete details.
Save big money at Menards.
You deserve the peace of mind that comes with affordable health insurance. Get Covered Ohio can help at no charge. Financial assistance is available and coverage is more affordable than ever. Some health insurance plans are as low as $10 or less a month. Don't wait. Open enrollment ends January 15th. Make your free appointment today by calling 833-628-4467 or visit getcoveredohio.org. This message is supported by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, but does not necessarily represent the official views of the U.S. government. Sponsored by the Ohio Association of Food Banks, aired by OAB and this station.
Hey, can we talk? It's a new year and I need to move on. We had a great run, but you're old now. So I'm trading you in at Great Lakes Kia.
And new Kias are under $5 a day.
That's less than lunch.
Lease new Kia K4, K5, and Sorrentos. All three under $5 a day. At Great Lakes Kia.
That's only $149 a month for 24 months.
Yes, new 25 Kia K5 LXS, K4 LXS, and Sorrento LX. Standard with third row seating. All three under $5 a day.
That Kia Sorrento is hot.
And we've got 0% financing.
But what if I'm not good enough for credit?
If you've got a job, you ride.
Under $5 a day.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia. GreatLakesKia.com. Want to take it for a test drive?
Oh, he needs to meet my parents first. To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
It's back January 10th through 19th at the Ohio Expo Center. The Ohio RV and Boat Show, brought to you in part by Park National Bank. 3 enormous buildings with dealers that have brought the best selection of RVs, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, golf cars, and more. Wide open aisles, tons to see, fun for all. The Ohio RV and Boat Show at the Ohio Expo Center, January 10th through 19th. From towables to drivers, jet skis to pontoons, and more. It's all here. Join the fun. One-stop competitive shopping. Get tickets online at OhioRVandBoatShow.com.
The two most mature people working at the radio station, and that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
A big thank you to Aaron Brandt for being our guest today on Ohio Sports Magazine. Thanks to all of our Locked On podcast contributors this week as well. For Bodie Wells, Eric Reeser, and Paul Keels, I'm Jay Fox. Thanks for listening to Ohio Sports Magazine. Join us next week right here on the Ohio News Network.